Let's talk about the Clippers. You know, after the big decision, you could tell it was an exhale for the Clippers, really for the NBA. It was time to talk basketball. The Clippers, one win away now from moving on to the next round as they played with a purpose, played with emotions. They beat the Warriors 113-103. The fans were on fire. They welcomed the Clippers back. Cheers of support there. You see the T-shirts. They've got the posters made, and you know, really denouncing Donald Sterling and some of the views that we heard in that tape, the racist comments. Now, the team's leader, Chris Paul, he called the past few days the most emotional time of his life. He says the NBA commissioner's decision to ban Sterling for life, plus other NBA owners forcing Sterling to sell the team, all that has helped the team heal, allowing them to focus on winning the game last night. They played well. The big question, will Donald Sterling agree to sell the Clippers? Will he fight the NBA to keep his team? Now, we know this. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he promises that he believes he's got the votes needed. He needs 3/4 vote of the league's owners. There's 29 of them, so he needs 22 votes. And in the press conference yesterday, as he talked to reporters, he was asked that question. And he didn't even really entertain any other option, but believes he's confident he's got the votes.
If you don't get the 3/4 vote that you need, is it possible that Donald Sterling could still be an absentee owner profiting from this team, even though he's banned physically from doing anything with it?
I fully expect to get the support I need from the other NBA owners to remove him.
We know this. The commissioner is a lawyer. Colleagues say anyone who knows him understands he wouldn't make that kind of statement without knowing the answer for sure. Talking to CNN, you talk about somebody who could have a vote here. Shaquille O'Neal, he's part owner of the Sacramento Kings, implied the owners already support the commissioner.
A lot of the owners, including the owners of the Sacramento Kings, have zero tolerance for comments like that. You know, we hope the other owners feel as strongly as we do.
There you go. Is there an exact timeline for a vote? No, but you hear from the commissioner, and it's going to happen fast. Here's what we believe is going to go down. The commissioner has 3 days to provide Donald Sterling with a written copy of the charges, and then Sterling has 5 days to answer. Special hearing of the Board of Commissioners or Board of Governors will be held no more than 10 days after Sterling's reply. If you add all that up, a rough estimate could be by May 16th. That's a Friday. And if he doesn't show up a reply, according to the league's constitution, that means he's admitting to the charges. Now, after all the evidence is presented, the board will vote. Again, 3/4 needed of the 29 owners to remove Sterling as the Clippers owner. If he's voted out, the league takes control of the team and will look for a buyer. Is that all going to happen here? Joining us via Skype to talk about it, SportsIllustrated.com basketball writer Ben Golliver. Ben, is he going to go quietly or not?
Well, he's been very quiet so far, but we don't know what's to come. I mean, I think it's really important to look at what he has said and what he hasn't said to this point as we forecast going forward. So far, he said virtually nothing. He hasn't even apologized and taken public ownership for the comments. He has said to a reporter prior to Adam Silver's press conference the other day that he thought he would not sell the team. Whether or not that position changes after the lifetime ban and the clear movement by the owners to kind of force him out, it's unclear. But the fact that he hasn't apologized, Adam Silver also said that Donald Sterling did not express any regret when they were conducting the NBA's investigation into these comments. So he hasn't given anyone any hope that he's going to go quietly. Looking back on his track record also, we see a lot of lawsuits. He's been involved with lawsuits with a former team executive, former team coach, and in many cases, he's refused to pay, salaries owed to those people and forced them to sue him. So my guess is he's looking for a legal battle.
Yeah. What leg does he have to stand on? What's his best fight here? Best argument?
Well, I mean, mostly that it's unprecedented and that, all the owners acting so quickly and so impulsively about comments as opposed to sort of anything illegal, I think would be sort of the nature of his defense. I mean, clearly they're going to be looking at potentially at antitrust, violations, and then also, looking very carefully at the NBA's actual constitution to determine exactly how Adam Silver believed he had the right to take this kind of stand that he has. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I totally agree with what you said in the intro. Adam Silver would not have come out so forcefully. He would not have basically guaranteed that he had the votes to terminate the ownership if he didn't have it. And I think you also saw yesterday a very clear and unanimous series of statements from the owners around the league, all other 29 teams, and actually the Clippers too, all sided with Silver publicly after his comments. So that leads you to believe that anything happening within the NBA will not be the question. It will all be about how is Donald Sterling able to kind of mount this legal battle against the NBA.
Right. Is the vote, number one, is the vote going to be public or private? Will we know how the owners vote? And regardless, you got to think it's going to be 29-0. Who's going to side with Sterling here?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Occasionally when you have these votes, people abstain. So if it's not 29-0, it could be something like 27-0 with 2 people who abstain. Usually the votes are not made public, but individual owners will sometimes say what their votes are. We just had a transfer of ownership, last year with the Sacramento Kings and the Seattle Supersonics, where owners did let their votes be known after the fact, and it wasn't a unanimous situation. So some people were very interested in sort of tallying the votes. But I absolutely believe that they're not worried about those votes. They believe that Silver would not have taken that stand if he didn't have those votes. And clearly, there's a lot of pressure from a lot of different places for those votes to be there. If you look at the National Basketball Players Association, the union, their vice president, Roger Mason, came out yesterday, and he basically said that players around the league were ready to boycott their games. The Golden State Warriors said they were planning a walk-off had Silver not come down so hard on Sterling.
Yep.
So there's tons of pressure for them to follow through on this message of ownership change. At the same time, even LeBron James came out today and said he realizes this could potentially be an extracted, costly legal battle, but it's worth pursuing and it's worth fighting until the end. They don't just want Sterling out. They don't want it to go to his wife. They don't want it to go to his son-in-law or anybody else sort of associated with him. They want a clean break in ownership.
Yep. There you go. And that leads to, if the vote is public, even the 2 owners that abstained, would they be ostracizing themselves? Would players on a certain team, let's say it's an owner of a certain team that either abstains or votes no or votes with Sterling, so to speak, you think they're going to want to play for that team anymore? I mean, it really something to think about here. All right. Again, great talking to you.